Welcome to video number 4. That was a progression from Satin Doll, and we're going to talk about 2-5-1 progressions. The first chord, D minor 7, D minor 9, resolved to G7, that's a G13, 2-5 progression, and then it slides up a whole step, E minor 9, A13. So there's actually two key centers. And then we have D7, 9, 13, D flat, the same chord, 7, 9, 13, and then resolving to C major, which in this case is a 6, 9. So we've got a lot of different scales involved here. The first thing we've got to look at is our chord shapes, and we can play from the 9, that's the upper structure, actually an F major 7 arpeggio, that gives us D minor 9. And we slide it up a whole step. Same thing for the D7 chord. On the dominant chords, as we've learnt so far, you can play a Mixolydian scale. Play it from the 9. With the major chord at the end of the progression, we can also use the chromatic note between the 6th and the 5th here. We talked about that in the video about diatonic progressions. So, we have to always be changing key with a progression like Satin Doll. So it means we have to actually be familiar with a number of lines for a 2-5. We don't actually have to think of each chord separately, just the 2-5 as being one tonal center. Here's another example. We'll start on the 9th and go up. You might hear me here doing the chromatic approach to the root. Now, when you play on a minor chord, you can always do that sort of thing. You don't have to just stay in the Dorian scale. It gives a bit more tension. You could actually come down then. Thing is, remember that your phrase has to have a beginning and an end. And first of all, we shouldn't try to play continuously through the progression, because that's too difficult when we're changing keys. Use the same lines. Repetition is a good thing. So now we move up to E minor, play the same line. Okay, so that's one approach. There are a number of different ones, but again, that's the approach of playing the same line. You probably hear that a 2-5 phrase like this, which is a 1-bar phrase, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's important, at least when we're starting out, to be able to hear that the 7th of the minor chord goes to the 3rd of the dominant chord. So, yeah, so you can see, you can hear that sound. So if our lines also follow that sort of structure, then with the bass just behind us, we'll have a very clear 2/5 line. Yeah, not trying to play anything technical yet. First, trying to catch that 3rd on the 3rd beat. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, little variation is good sometimes. That's a little later now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I think you get the point. Same with the D7 chord. We have a 3rd F sharp. So I'm just playing out of the chord from the 3rd up to the 5th, 9, so on, up to the 13th. Same here, targeting the 3rd on the C chord. Okay, I used a note here on the D flat chord, which is called the sharp 11. And this is another scale we haven't actually talked about yet. We'll be talking about that in lesson number 5. It's called Mixolydian sharp 11 or Lydian flat 7. There are different names, but it's a very important sound in jazz, and I just wanted to use briefly this sound now on Satin Doll. It's so it's a little variation on Mixolydian. It's especially good when the D flat chord goes to the C chord, because then we have this common note of G. So. Okay, so that's the A section. Now, in the tune, of course, we have a B section, which is a long form 2/5 and goes to the 1. That means each chord is a bar long at least. 2, 3, 4, and F major. So because that's a diatonic progression over 4 bars, it's nice to have some tension on the dominant chord. So to create tension on the dominant chord, what we've learned so far is harmonic minor. The dominant chord from a harmonic minor has a flat 9 and actually a flat 13. So I'm trying to recycle what we've already learned. Of course, we're not going to a minor chord, we're going to a major chord. That's a nice thing, a little surprise there. Or you could just do G on the top note of the C chord. But when you're improvising on the C chord, think of flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13. Yeah, sounds a lot more interesting than just staying in the F major scale for the whole 4 bars.